The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Coldesina, and I'm the Manager of Travel Industry Accounts with Sports Travel and Tours. Thank you for taking time out of your evening or late afternoon to join us. We're having an exciting evening tonight. We're going to tell you how you can combine your passion with your vacation. Just have a few housekeeping items to go over before we get underway. First, your phones or microphones on your desktop or laptop computer have automatically been muted, so you don't have to worry about inadvertently disturbing the presentation. Second, we will be answering questions, and the way we will facilitate this is when you first logged in, there should have been a GoToWebinar toolbar that popped up. There's a question tab. Just open up the question tab. You can type in your question at any point in time during the presentation, and at the end of the presentation, I will be answering all of the questions. My contact information will be on the very last screen, so if you'd rather reach out to me at leisure by phone or by email, please don't hesitate to do so, and would love to have a conversation and answer any questions that you might have. But let's go ahead and get underway. If this is the first webinar that you're joining, or you're not really familiar with Sports Travel and Tours, maybe you've received our literature but you haven't traveled with us yet, I just want to go over a little bit of detail over who we are and what we do. We are now in our 21st year of operation, offering fan travel packages to games and events all over North America, but also to some select international events as well. We're best known for our baseball road trips, our pro and college football gridiron getaways, Hall of Fame travel packages, both to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, as well as the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York. And also we have many travel packages to classic events such as the Kentucky Derby, U.S. Open Golf, U.S. Open Tennis, and the Tournament of Roses Parade. Our experience, attention to detail, and customer focus has enabled us over the years to have a return guest rate that's constantly above 60%. We've also partnered with great people and great organizations such as the National Baseball Hall of Fame, and this allows us to offer many exclusive features to select tours and packages. Baseball road trips probably makes up a large portion of our product, and it's probably one of the things that we're best known for. So I want to start out here. A baseball road trip is a hosted tour. It's anywhere from 3 to 12 days in length. Travel is primarily via motor coach, but these baseball road trips go over across the U.S. and Canada, seeing mostly major league games in major league parks. We do some minor league parks as well along the way. We try to visit museums, historical points of interest, local attractions, besides the games that we're going to see, which are the primary focus. And wherever possible, we try to include guided tours of the ballparks we're visiting. We do also allow some independent leisure time, so you can explore a city or a surroundings on your own. And also, for any of our packages, we can add in pre-arrival hotel nights and post-departure hotel nights. So if you want to really do some additional sightseeing in an area and come in a few days before the trip starts or stay a few days after it ends, just let us know. We can arrange just the hotel, or if you want to do some other sporting events or even non-sporting events, we can always help out in the planning and the execution of those plans for you. Baseball fans keep choosing Sports Travel and Tours, not just because of the quality and detail that go into our trips each year, but because of the variety. Our trips offer you the opportunity to see great games in great seats, stay in hotels that are centrally located. This way you don't have to spend so much time going from the hotel to a stadium that's in a completely different section of the city. Also, most of our trips are point to point as opposed to a round trip, so you don't waste time doubling back and spending more time driving. We do more time to be able to see and do exciting things. I wanted to just go over a couple of this year's trips. For those of you that follow baseball, the Major League Baseball schedule comes out sometime in mid to late September each year. So it gives us a very short window to try to plan our trips for the next year and get them out to market as soon as possible. We expect that our preliminary itineraries for our 2018 baseball road trip should be available at the beginning to mid part of November, with the final details set by the first of the year at the latest. But just to give you an idea of what we'd be looking at, there's two trips here that we ran this year. We have our Northerner and our SoCal Plus. And I should note that last year we offered 15 different baseball road trips that covered 28 different major league stadiums, 3 minor league stadiums. We also included 11 different stadium tours on those trips, 10 different city tours, and visits to attractions such as CNN Studios in Atlanta, the Houston Space Center, the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Catalina Island, and the National Constitution Center. So you can see with these 2 trips, one of the features that you see here on our Northerner, you can see this little airplane symbol. Wherever you see that symbol on any of our trips, whether it be on our website or in our catalogs that come out, that means that there is inter-trip airfare that's included as part of your package. So in this particular trip on the Northerner, rather than taking a motor coach from San Francisco to Seattle, we're going to fly between those 2 cities. Wherever the distance is more than about a 6-hour drive, we try to put in a flight instead of the motor coach. So that flight is part of that $23.95 per person double price that you see for the Northerner. Our SoCal Plus, this was a great trip because it gives you an option on one of the days, or it gave you an option on one of the days, to choose between a full day on Catalina Island or a day at Disneyland. So we do try to put in as many other features besides the games because we realize that interests vary and not everyone on the trip may be the baseball fanatic. There's maybe some that are tagging along and want to have some other exciting things to do as well. These 2 trips, this is our Lakes Plus and our 3-bagger. The Lakes Plus started in Toronto, took in Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. And then our 3-bagger was Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. And then the last 2 trips, just to kind of highlight so it gives you an idea, we had 2 different baseball road trips for this year's induction in Cooperstown at the end of July. We had our Induction Plus trip. This was 2 parks, 2 games, 4 teams over a 6-day period with the Baseball Hall of Fame induction kind of sandwiched in the middle of games in New York and Boston. We also had our Houston induction special. This started out in Philadelphia with 2 games in Philadelphia, a game in New York City, and then culminating with the induction weekend in Cooperstown. And you'll see 2 icons here, one for each trip that says Ump's Eye View. And we're going to talk a little bit more about our Ump's Eye View next. On some of our baseball road trips and many of our other baseball-related packages, we try to include a program called the Ump's Eye View. And if a Major League umpire could ever steal a show in a Major League game, Al Clark might have been the one to do it. During his 26 seasons as a professional umpire, he's officiated at Nolan Ryan's 300th win, Cal Ripken's record breaker, and the Earthquake World Series in 1989, just to name a few. And one in a recent conversation, he also reminded me that he was the umpire behind second base, I believe, in 1978 or 79 during the 1-game playoff between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, where Bucky Dent hit his home run over the Green Monster in Boston, breaking the hearts of Red Sox fans everywhere. So Al puts on a question and answer. Well, first he gives a nice presentation, followed by a question and answer series that really gives you an idea of what it's like to be behind the plate or to be a Major League umpire. And you find out a lot of very interesting anecdotes about the Major League Baseball games that we love and cherish so much. So there'll be other points in the presentation where I'll point out our Ump's Eye View program so that you can be aware of that. So moving on to spring training, within the next few days, we should have our spring training packages priced and ready to sell, both for Florida and for Arizona. Most of our guests stay about 5 days and take in at least 2 or 3 games, but we can offer packages with as many number of games and nights as you're interested in. For Florida, I'd say the Tampa St. Petersburg area is our most popular spring training destination, only because of the proximity of teams that play to the Tampa St. Petersburg area. The Tigers, Yankees, Blue Jays, Phillies, Pirates, and Orioles all have training facilities that are no more than about 60 miles from the Tampa area, and so this makes it really easy to not just catch your team at its home stadium, but also follow them as they take games on the road. However, nothing beats Arizona if you're a spring training fan. 15 different teams train in the greater Phoenix area, and they are all within about a 45 to 50-minute drive of Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. And no 2 teams are more than about an hour apart. Plus, in late February and March, it's hard to beat the southwest part of the United States for great winter weather or scenic natural beauty. Next, we'll move on to our All-Star Game packages. We have a 5-day All-Star Game, and this really covers everything that you would want to do over All-Star Week. On Sunday, you can enjoy All-Star Fan Fest. Fan Fest is part trade show, part traveling baseball museum, and part merchandise bonanza. Any type of baseball-related item you can find for sale at Fan Fest. Plus, there's all sorts of interactive games, both hands-on and virtual. Next on Sunday is the All-Star Futures Game. This pits the best young rising U.S. stars versus the best young international players pulled from the AAA League. Then on Monday, there's the All-Star Legends and Celebrity Softball Game. Then the All-Star Workout and Home Run Derby. The Home Run Derby is really becoming as popular as the All-Star Game itself, which takes place on Tuesday. So this package has 4 nights hotel in downtown Washington, D.C. It includes your tickets to All-Star Fan Fest, reserved seating for all of those different events that we went over on Sunday night, Monday, and of course culminating with the All-Star Game itself on Tuesday evening. For baseball purists, if you're really just looking to see the All-Star Game and maybe take in Fan Fest, we do have a 3-day package as well, which should meet all your needs. Next, let's move into induction weekend. Each year in late July, tens of thousands of people descend upon the tiny village of Cooperstown, New York, to see baseball's greatest players honored by the National Baseball Hall of Fame. This year, we saw Ivan Rodriguez, Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, Bud Selig, and John Schuerholz inducted into the Hall. We offered 5 different packages and 2 baseball road trips for induction weekend. This year, some of the potential inductees include Trevor Hoffman, Vladimir Guerrero, Edgar Martinez, Chipper Jones, and Jim Thome. Now, we have just released our induction weekend packages, and shortly we will also have our induction weekend baseball road trips, of which I believe there should be 2. I'm going to start out with our base hit package. These packages tend to the features tend to build upon each other. So as I go through each of the details for the induction weekend base hit trip, for the next trips, I'll just point out where there's differences. So our base hit trip is 3 days, 2 nights. It's staying at the Hampton Inn Albany Airport. All of our trips, except for the last one that we'll go over, our Grand Slam trip, are staying in Albany. We chose Albany because it's convenient for air transportation. Albany International Airport has all of the major carriers that fly in and out. It's also convenient because of Amtrak rail connections from New York City. But more importantly, it's really the closest city that has a tremendous amount of hotel space. Cooperstown is a very tiny little village. There are not many hotels in the surrounding area, and what hotels are there are generally booked up a year in advance by Major League Baseball for all the dignitaries, all the family that come to support the players and the different officials that are involved in that weekend. So our packages this package includes 2 nights hotel, daily breakfast, round-trip airport transfers if you happen to be flying in. If you're driving in, there's free parking at the hotel. Once you get to the hotel, you shouldn't need your car again the whole weekend. On Saturday and Sunday, we provide motor coach transfers into Cooperstown. We also include a welcome dinner reception. You have unlimited admission into the Hall of Fame. We do this in the form of a 1-year membership to the Hall of Fame. So even after that weekend, if you were to come back on your own, you can still get into the Hall of Fame as many times as you need to in the next year. On the Saturday, the key events to look forward to are the Hall of Fame Awards presentation, which takes place at Doubleday Field. This is where the Hall gives out the awards for print and broadcast journalism. And then after the Hall of Fame Awards presentation is the Parade of Legends. And this is where all of the returning Hall of Famers, plus that year's class, parade down Main Street in open-air vehicles, ending on the front doorstep of the Hall of Fame on Main Street. On Sunday, we have reserved seating for the induction ceremony in the general admission area, and then we provide a box lunch. It's really kind of maybe a box dinner. It'll be ready for you as soon as you get back on the motor coach at the end of the induction late afternoon to head back towards the hotel and airport for people that are departing that evening. Now we'll move into our extra innings package. This is identical to the base hit, except that it does add an extra day and night. The Monday event to look forward to is the Legends of the Game Roundtable. This is a a moderated question and answer session that will include the entire class of 2018, and it takes place at Doubleday Field. Now moving into our infield package. This is a upgraded version of the base hit. Still 3 days, 2 nights, but it has upgraded hotel at the Albany Marriott. It also includes VIP reserve seating for the induction ceremony on Sunday. And after the dinner reception, it adds our Ump's Eye View Sports Talk with Al Clark. Now we move to our home run package. This is very much like the extra innings package in that it's 4 days, 3 nights, but it has the same upgrades as the infield. So upgraded seating for the induction ceremony on Sunday. It includes the Ump's Eye View Sports Talk, but a difference here from the infield is that it adds the Baseball Hall of Fame Artifact Spotlight. This is where you will be meeting as a group with one of the curators from the Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. They'll bring out a number of artifacts that are part of the permanent collection, but not part of the permanent display collection. So these are items that normally you might not be able to see when you go to the Hall of Fame unless they had a special exhibit. You'll be able to see these artifacts, up close and personal, hear some interesting anecdotes, and hear about the history of these particular items. Also, our home run package gives you your choice of baseball autographed by your choice of inductees autographed baseball. So whichever of the inductees you'd like, you can, and this is per person. So if there's 3 people that are traveling with you, each person will get an autographed baseball from their choice of inductee. Now, lastly, we have our Grand Slam package. Very much like the home run, the difference here is that we are staying at the Marriott Courtyard in Oneonta, New York, which is only about 30 minutes from Cooperstown, whereas the other properties are about an hour and 15 minutes from Cooperstown. One key difference with the Grand Slam is that in addition to the dinner reception on the first night, on Saturday night, they'll have a post-parade reception, and that's where you'll have the Ump's Eye View Sports Talk with Al Clark. Other than that, it's pretty much just like the home run package. Now, let's move into our spring training cruise. Spring training packages have been one of our staples almost since our inception. And with all of the cruise departures from Southern Florida, it's only been a matter of time before we combine the Caribbean cruise with spring training baseball. Norwegian Cruise Line is the innovator in cruise travel with a 50-year history of breaking the boundaries of traditional cruising, most notably the introduction of freestyle cruising that revolutionized the industry by giving guests the freedom and flexibility so you can design your ideal cruise vacation. Cruising on Norwegian means no fixed dining times, relaxed attire, several distinct dining options, and a tremendous amount of lounges, bars, theaters, and other types of entertainment and activity options. Now, your host for this cruise is going to be none other than former Major League umpire Al Clark. The dates are March 6th through 11th of 2018. It's going to allow you to slip away to paradise for the weekend on board the Norwegian Epic. You can go snorkeling in Nassau, see colorful reef fish of all sizes, or experience the thrill of the water park at Atlantis. You can work on your tan on a white sand beach on Great Stirrup Cay, Norwegian's very own private island. Also, we'll have 3 days and 2 nights in Central Florida where we'll take in 2 spring training games. This is absolutely a wonderful trip. We ran this last year, and we're looking forward to having this be a regular feature for our baseball fans. The last thing baseball related that I wanted to talk to you about was our passport to baseball. Close to 14 years ago, based on customer feedback, we found that the majority of our baseball travelers had a desire to see all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums at some point during their life. So we put together our Baseball Stadium Hall of Fame. The first time you travel with us, whether it's on one of our baseball road trips or a custom baseball package or even a trip to Cooperstown, we send out a passport to baseball. It's modeled after a U.S. passport. It has a page for each Major League stadium. Each time you go to a new stadium with us, you receive a sticker for your passport that has the name of the stadium, the date of the game, who was playing, and when you've been to all 30 Major League stadiums, we invite you to Cooperstown, Hall of Fame weekend in July, and we hold an induction ceremony in the Hall of Fame. The picture you see in the lower right-hand corner, that was, I believe, the induction class of 2013. 39 new individuals were inducted. And then our class of 2017, I haven't updated the picture yet, I believe was closer to 50 new inductees into the Hall of Fame. Now let's move on to pro football. So we have a number of prepackaged getaways to some of the more popular teams in the NFL. They're 3-day, 2-night packages. They include game tickets, airport and game day transfers, and then trip souvenir, of course. And on most of these, you can add in a catered pregame tailgate party, and even on some, a stadium tour as well. So we're going to go first to Green Bay. We were offering packages for all of the Green Bay home games. This was, like I said, a 3-day, 2-night package. It's staying at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center in Green Bay. Includes round-trip airport and event transfers. The optional pregame tailgate party can be added for $65 per person. The tailgate starts approximately 3.5 hours prior to game time. Unlimited food and drink. It's barbecue-style food. It includes beer, wine, sodas, and water. And there's also entertainment and a meet and greet with a former Packer legend. Dallas also offering packages to all of the Dallas home games, and the Dallas package is set up very similar to the Green Bay package. So 3 days, 2 nights. This is at the Hilton Arlington. Airport transfers, event transfers. You can add the optional catered tailgate party at $100 per person, and you can also do the optional VIP stadium tour at $40 per person. Now, on any of these packages, we can always try to add in additional nights at the hotel if you want to extend your stay and see some things in the area. If you want to include a car rental so that you can better see these things, we can always add that in as well. Lastly, Pittsburgh Steelers. This is staying at the Hampton Inn and Suites, Pittsburgh downtown, very convenient to Heinz Field in the Three Rivers area. Airport and event transfers as well. And here we do an optional pregame sailgate party. 3.5 hours prior to game time, you can board the vessel, and it cruises around the Three Rivers area, and then it drops you off right in front of Heinz Field in time for the game. We were also offering packages to 2 of the 4 NFL games in London. We were doing the 2 that were held at Wembley Stadium, which was Ravens Jaguars and Dolphins Saints. 5 days, 4 nights at the DoubleTree by Hilton London Hyde Park. Round-trip meet-and-greet airport transfers, daily breakfast, a 6-day London pass with transportation. So that means that you've got pretty much unlimited subway, bus, and surface train transportation in the greater London area. Plus, there's approximately 80 different sites and attractions in the London area that have a prepaid admission as part of this London pass. So it gives you plenty of different sightseeing opportunities. And here was essentially the same package, just priced a little bit differently for the Saints-Dolphins game. And then our last pro football package is we are offering the Patriots and Raiders game in Mexico City. This is November 17th through 20th at Azteca Stadium. 4 days, 3 nights at the Cristal Grand Reforma Hotel in downtown Mexico City. Meet and greet airport transfers, daily breakfast, 4-day Mexico City hop-on, hop-off city tour, plus a guided tour of the Teotihuacan archaeological site, guided walking tour of the historic city center in Mexico City, event transfers, pregame tailgate party, fiesta, pretty much all you need to have a successful trip to Mexico City to see some great football. Now, if for some reason you don't see the particular matchup you're looking for, we can always do a custom package for football. Basically, you tell us, how many nights hotel you want, type of game tickets you want. Do you want to do anything else besides the game? Do you need a rental car, or would you rather just do airport transfers? We do try to find hotels that are as close to the stadium as possible, so that wherever possible, you can just walk from the hotel to the game. For groups of less than 6 people, though, we do charge a $25 non-refundable deposit to plan that out. But if it's for 6 or more, then we waive that fee. Let's move on to the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival. So each year in Canton, Ohio, It really gives you your best opportunity to see the stars of yesterday and even some of the stars of tomorrow. The festival is actually a multi-day event and starts probably about 2 months before the actual enshrinement weekend itself. Tons of different activities, but our package is usually 4 days, 3 nights. It includes the Hall of Fame game. It includes the Canton Repository Grand Parade. This is where it's actually like a New Year's Day type parade, but it includes all of the returning Hall of Famers, including that year's class. It includes seating for the enshrinement ceremony on Saturday evening and the enshrinees game day roundtable luncheon on Sunday afternoon. This is a moderated question and answer session with the class of 2018. Also will include the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and depending on how the baseball schedule works out this year, we may try to include a Cleveland Indians game in Cleveland as well. Details should be forthcoming by the first part of November as far as exact itinerary and final pricing. Moving into college football, same setup as pro football. We can customize any type of college game. Just let us know what the matchup is, and we can take care of the rest for you. Let's move quickly to college bowl games. The Rose Bowl is really the game that started the college bowl tradition. After all, it's the it used to be one of the most anticipated sporting events of the year until the playoff system came about. Our 4-day package, includes airport, hotel, game day transfers, daily breakfast, 2 lunches, reserved seats for both the Tournament of Roses parade and the Rose Bowl. Our 4-day package also allows you to visit the float barns and have a VIP tour of the Getty Museum. Moving to our 5-day package, all of those same features that we had in the 4-day package are available in the 5-day package, but we also add in a Los Angeles City tour, a visit to Warner Brothers Studio, and the Huntington Museums and Gardens. Now, if you are interested in the Tournament of Roses parade, but really don't care about who happens to be playing in the Rose Bowl, we do have 3 different packages that include the Tournament of Roses parade, but do not include tickets to the Rose Bowl. Our 4-day package is 3 nights at the Westin Long Beach, includes reserved seating to the Tournament of Roses parade, round-trip airport hotel transfers, event transfers, daily breakfast. And we visit the Huntington Museum and Library and Botanical Gardens. We do the pre-parade float barn tours. We have brunch aboard the Queen Mary, and then a box lunch on parade day. Our 5-day package somewhat builds upon the 4-day. This is 4 nights at the Hotel Irvine in Irvine, California. In addition to the reserved seats for the Tournament of Roses parade, we add in a choice of different activities on day 2 and day 3. So, for example, on day 2, you have your choice of either visiting the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library with a plated luncheon in the Air Force One Pavilion. You can also choose between You can also choose between guided tours of Warner Brothers Studios in Hollywood, a guided tour of the Richard M. Nixon Presidential Library, and a visit to Mission San Juan Capistrano, or you can do a day trip to Catalina Island. This also has the pre-parade float barns tour, and it has a New Year's Eve party at the hotel, of course, before the big day itself. 2 lunches and 3 dinners are included, and there's a lot more activities in this. Please either see the website for additional details, or you can certainly reach out to me at the end of the presentation. And then finally, our 6-day, our 6-day package. It's pretty much identical to the 5-day, but it adds the post-parade showcase of floats and an additional lunch. So this is when a lot of the award-winning floats, you're able to walk amongst them and kind of get a more up close and personal view of these different award-winning floats. All right, and then just want to touch quickly upon a few classic events. We have 2 different Derby packages. We have one that's more of a Derby tour. This is a 4-day, 3-night package at the Hilton Garden Inn, Louisville. It includes distillery and horse farm tours. It includes a hosted luncheon, Friday night cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, Bloody Marys and mimosas Sunday morning before heading to Churchill Downs. round trip event transfers, breakfasts on Friday and Saturday mornings, and reserve seating on the first floor grandstands. Upgrades are available to the third floor grandstands as well. Just let me know and I can get you pricing on the upgrades. And then we also have a 4-day, 3-night package that's staying right in town at the Hyatt Regency Louisville. So if you're really up for the different festivities that are going on in town, this is a great package because you're right in the thick of things. It features 2 full days of racing. Friday is the Kentucky Oaks, and then of course Saturday we have a full slate of racing with the final race, the Run for the Roses. First floor grandstand seating is standard on these, but we do have upgrades to most of the different levels at Churchill Downs. Lastly, in the next couple of weeks, we should have our pricing for the 2018 U.S. Open. We do a 5-day, 4-night package that will have the men's semifinals and then the women's and men's finals. This last year's package was at the Hampton Inn Manhattan, Times Square North. Do not know if it's going to be there at that same hotel again, but we always do a Times Square hotel. So when you're not at the matches, there's lots to see and do, and you're in a convenient location. And we also try to make sure that the hotel is within easy walking distance of the subway and on the same line as the line that goes out to, I think it's the 7 train that goes out to the Willets Point station, which is where you would get off and then walk right into the USTA Center in Flushing. So that's kind of our overview. There's still a lot of different packages that we offer for all sports, but if we went over every package, we'd be here for an hour and a half, so I didn't want to take too much of your evening. We do have a few questions that have come in, and the first question is asking about other bowl games. So we have packages for, I believe, the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and of course the actual championship game. So all of those should be on our website. If there are other bowl games that you're interested in, we can always do a custom package for those bowls. All right, let me just scroll down through the questions here. Hold on one second. Okay, next question is, where do we typically sit for the baseball road trips? Where where in the stadium are the seats? We try to do the best available group seating. Generally, I would say about half the time we're going to be in the lower level, maybe just past the infield, where the infield dirt ends and the grass begins. Some stadiums we may be right in the infield, others we may be a little bit further out. There are a few stadiums such as Yankee Stadium, Fenway, Wrigley, where because of either the limited number of seats or just the popularity of the team, we may have to be in maybe the middle level, either a 200 or 300 level, but still in that same short outfield or just at the end of the infield cutout. All right, let's see. Next question. What is our deposit policy for the Baseball Hall of Fame packages? So we do have a kind of a unique deposit policy for both the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Baseball Hall of Fame if you're looking to reserve your spot for a particular player that will be inducted. A fully refundable $200 deposit will hold your space, whether it's for 2019, 2020, 2021. Once we get to that year, and if your player does not make it in that year, you have the option of receiving a full refund, or if you'd like to roll your money over to the next year, then we can do that. Generally, it's about this time each year that we release the Baseball Hall of Fame and Pro Football Hall of Fame packages for the next year. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at. Once your player has been announced that they're going to be inducted, then you would just need to pay the difference between the $200 deposit and the whatever 50% of the package price is. Final payment would be due 90 days prior to departure. All right, let's see. I'm not seeing any other additional questions. You've got my contact information right here. Please don't hesitate to drop me a line or to shoot me an email. I'd love to spend some time talking about our product with you, and I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening, and have a great rest of your night. Thank you.